Hey everyone, welcome to my review of Winning Time: The Rise of the Lakers Dynasty. This review will have full spoilers for the show, so definitely watch it first. But if you've seen it already, stick around, relax, and let's get into it. This show is produced by Adam Mckay, and the first episode is also directed by him. And like anything Adam Mckay does lately, there is a level of controversy and divisiveness to this show. I've seen that most people that this show portrays, like Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Jerry West, are all unhappy with this and just refuse to watch it. Jerry West is so furious at how he was portrayed, he demanded a public apology from the showrunners and threatened a lawsuit. The irony behind this is just so great because Jerry West is portrayed as someone who is very angry most of the time, and in real life, he's furious about this show.
Calm down, calm down, calm down.
Anyway, with all that aside, I think this show is pretty great and entertaining. Even though some of the details have been glorified like any Hollywood portrayal, I learned a lot about the Showtime Lakers. I knew about that era and how successful they were, but I didn't know about the behind the scenes and the stress that went into delivering this NBA championship. Having Adam Mckay direct the first episode and Jonah Hill direct the second episode really set the season off nicely, giving every director a platform to continue building the quality of the show. And I really think because of it, this show gets better as it goes on.
I like it.
Yeah?
I think one thing that they did a really good job of is welcoming you to the aesthetic of this era. That and the performance from John C. Reilly, who plays Jerry Buss, talking to you by breaking the fourth wall, just captures the Showtime era style very well. Also, by shooting the show on both 35 and 16mm film, gives us a grainy look that further immerses you in this area, as it looks like something that was shot in the 80s.
Hello, it is. Huh?
They also do a great job of making the actors look a lot like their real-life counterparts. Both Quincy Isaiah, who plays Magic Johnson, and Solomon Hughes, who plays Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, look very similar to how these players looked during this time. And their performances are also great. The dynamic between these two evolve over the course of the season, where they have a lot of tension, to finally being able to trust one another both on and off the court. The way this builds feels very satisfying and proves to be a nice moment by the time the season ends. I think the best thing about this show that taught me the most was the story arc with the coaches, and the way that evolves is both heartbreaking yet satisfying at the same time. When the arc actually begins with Jack McKinney, we are on his side and we want to see him succeed because he is a talented coach who's been an assistant his entire career, and now he finally has his shot for the Lakers. It becomes heartbreaking at the end of one episode where he goes for a bike ride and falls off, causing brain damage that ruins his shot of holding on to this opportunity he was afforded. This leads to two underdog coaches taking over, starting with Paul Westhead, played by Jason Segel. He is great in this role. He doesn't have any assertiveness and is quite anxious to step up from being an assistant coach to now being the head coach. He is guided by legendary figure in the NBA, Pat Riley, played by Adrian Brody, who is also great in this role. You can see from this point that he is talented and knows the game of basketball and has insight into how these players are and what motivates them. Riley is the one really keeping the team afloat while Westhead is the coach, as he slowly teaches Westhead how to believe in himself and be assertive when coaching the game. I love how this relationship strengthens and the tension that is formed when Jack McKinney feels healed and ready to return. Westhead has actually enjoyed his time in the position, and Riley went from being a commentator who was consistently shut down and was just looking for a job in the NBA after his playing days, and now really wants to hold on to this position. This tension is further heightened by the close relationship that McKinney and Westhead have with each other. You understand where both sides are coming from and why they are upset at each other, and I thought the way that it all plays out was very compelling, while also teaching me a thing or two about this dynamic. Another small thing about this show that I absolutely loved was the dynamic between Magic Johnson and Larry Bird and how it captures this rivalry. As a Boston Celtics fan, I love Larry Bird in that era. I have so much respect for the Showtime Lakers as well, and I love that this show made Larry Bird out to be a true antagonist to Magic Johnson. This also plays into the political narrative where the media adores Bird and Johnson is playing second fiddle due to the fact that Bird is white. The thing most compelling about this to me was just how Larry Bird is always in Magic Johnson's head, and as someone who has seen documentaries about the greatness of the Celtics in this era, I've always seen the perspective that the Lakers were the antagonists, so having this flip here was a nice thing to see personally. One part of the show that suffers a little bit is the relationship between Magic Johnson and Cookie. The show felt like it explored that on a surface level, and it just didn't go anywhere. I don't know if there'll be a season 2, but it felt weird that his now wife, who he's been with for years, hates him throughout the duration of this show.
I hate you!
Another thing that I haven't touched on fully is the Jerry Buss arc. I love how John C. Reilly plays him as this bold and arrogant owner of the Lakers who's willing to take this massive financial risk. I think the fact he keeps overlooking his daughter Jeannie and her contributions to the team is funny now considering how successful she has become today. I love that dynamic though, as you feel that tension between them, and you can tell Jeannie is hesitant in telling Jerry about it so he can keep doing his thing and being happy, which obviously makes Jerry look very selfish. The part in the season where Jerry's mother dies is a bit of a wake-up call for Jerry, as we see the consistently confident and happy man break down, which added a great moment to the show. Overall, as a Celtics fan, I absolutely loved Winning Time. As a basketball show, this is one of the best things you could watch. Is it 100% accurate? Probably not. Does it have a couple of small issues here and there? Of course. But man, this is mostly an excellent show that I honestly hope gets another season. If this is it, however, I'm glad I saw this and I'll probably watch it again at some point. I'm going to give this one a 4.5 out of 5, and I would love to see more shows like this. Maybe one about the Celtics would be nice.
The Celtics were a great team.
Thank you all for watching the video. I do really appreciate it. It's been so fun making these videos and I can't wait to make more. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.